every evening, just before the sky turned dark, a woman sat on the last bench at the edge of the park. No one knew why she chose that bench. There were many others, closer ones, brighter ones, benches where people talked, laughed, and stayed. But she always chose the last one, the quiet one, the one that faced away from everything. And every evening she sat there, alone. Her name was Evelyn. She had not always been a quiet person. Once she had filled spaces with her voice, her laughter, her presence. She had friends who stayed too long, conversations that never seemed to end, and a life that moved forward without hesitation. But time, in its quiet way, had changed that. It did not happen all at once. It never does. It began with small things, a missed call, a postponed visit, a conversation that didn't happen when it should have. Then one day, someone she loved left. Not suddenly, not dramatically, just slowly, until there was nothing left to hold on to. After that, the world became quieter, not empty, but quieter. And in that quiet, Evelyn found herself drifting further away from everything she once knew. Until one evening, without really thinking about it, she walked out of the park. It was late. The sun was already lowering behind the trees. People were gathering their things, calling their children, heading home. Evelyn walked past them all, past the benches where couples sat close together, past the ones where old friends talked about familiar things, past the ones filled with laughter, until she reached the last bench, the one no one else seemed to want. She sat down, and for the first time in a long while, she didn't feel like she had to be anywhere else. So she came back the next day, and the day after that, and soon it became her place. People began to notice her, not in a direct way. No one approached her. No one asked questions. But they saw her. The woman on the last bench, always there, always quiet, always watching the sky as it slowly faded into night. Seasons changed. The trees lost their leaves. The air grew colder. But Evelyn still came, wrapped in a coat now, her hands tucked into her sleeves, her eyes fixed on the distance. Until one evening, something changed. A small boy sat beside her. She didn't hear him approach, didn't notice him until he spoke. "Is the seat taken?" Evelyn turned slightly. The boy looked no older than 10. He held a small notebook in his hands. "No," she said softly. He sat down. For a while, neither of them spoke. The sky shifted from gold to blue. The park grew quieter. Then the boy opened his notebook. "I come here to draw," he said. Evelyn nodded. "That's nice." He flipped a few pages. "Do you come here every day?" "Yes." "Why?" Evelyn paused. She hadn't been asked that before. "I don't know," she said honestly. The boy seemed to accept that. He looked at her for a moment, then back at his notebook. "My mom says people always have a reason," he said. Evelyn almost smiled. Maybe she's right. The boy thought about that, then asked, "Do you feel less alone here?" The question surprised her. Evelyn looked at the empty park, the fading light, the quiet space around them. Then she answered, "Yes." The boy nodded as if that made perfect sense. "I think so too," he said. From that evening on, he came back. Not every day, but often. Sometimes he talked, sometimes he didn't. Sometimes he showed her his drawings. Small sketches of trees, birds, people walking through the park. One day, he showed her something different. It was a drawing of the bench, and on it, 2 people. Evelyn looked at it for a long time. "You drew me," she said. "And me?" the boy replied. Evelyn felt something shift inside her. A small, quiet change, like a door opening just a little. Days turned into weeks, winter softened into early spring. The trees began to change, and so did Evelyn. She still sat on the last bench. But now, she didn't always feel invisible. She didn't always feel like she was watching life from a distance. Because sometimes, someone sat beside her. And that made a difference. Then one evening, the boy didn't come. Evelyn told herself it was nothing. People don't come every day. The next evening, he didn't come again. Or the next. Days passed. The bench felt different now. Not empty, but missing something. Evelyn didn't realize how much she had grown used to his presence. Until it was gone. 1 week later, she saw him again, walking slowly across the park. But this time, he wasn't alone. A woman walked beside him, his mother. They approached the bench together. The boy smiled when he saw her. "This is her," he said. His mother looked at Evelyn with gentle eyes. "Thank you," she said. Evelyn was confused. "For what?" The boy answered. "For sitting here." Evelyn didn't understand, but his mother did. "He doesn't talk much," she said quietly. "Not to most people." She looked at her son. "But he talks about you." Evelyn felt something warm rise in her chest. "He says this bench isn't lonely anymore," his mother continued. There was a long silence. Soft. Comfortable. Then the boy sat down, and Evelyn sat beside him, as she always had. But this time, something was different. The bench no longer felt like the end of something. It felt like the beginning. That evening, as the sky slowly turned dark, Evelyn realized something she hadn't understood before. She had not been coming to the park to be alone. She had been coming to be found, and sometimes without even knowing it. We leave a place in our lives where someone else can sit beside us and change everything. From that day on, Evelyn still sat on the last bench, but it was no longer the quietest place in the park, because even when no one else was there, it no longer felt empty. It felt remembered, and sometimes that is all a person needs